Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. Our heroes today are going to be PSG RedxWings playing as the US forces in the blue. And his opponent is going to be captainzed89 playing as the OKW forces in the red. Unfortunately, we are not going to be seeing RedxWings playing with his SU-76s that he also loves, which is kind of sad. I've actually haven't had a chance to cast one of his games doing that, and he was pretty freaking good with them, you know, even before they got changed to Tier 3, so should be interesting to see what he does with those. But for now, we're actually going to be seeing his US forces play. So far, we see rear echelons, rear echelons, rear echelons, and more rear echelons. And probably even more rear echelons, so you got a wire getting laid down all over the place as they cap. Up in the north, we have an engagement as rear echelons engage the storm pios at range. The storm pios are, well, they were in better position there by the heavy cover, but now they have to close the open space. They get a little bit of damage on them, but their assault rifles are going to get them the upper hand in the engagement. However, with 3 rear echelon squads now surrounding them, the storm pios are in a little bit of a pickle here. The Volksgrenadier squad is going to be brought into the engagement. The original rear echelon squad is going to suffer a lot of damage there, although they run past and go straight for the house. Second 2 squads behind them still engaging the storm pios. Storm pios at full strength with their firepower, 4 men strong, taking off 1 man off of each squad. They now focus on the northern rear echelon squad down to 2 men, forced to retreat, losing 1 more man on the retreat, but making it out of there alive. Storm pios now moving back as they have finally lost one of their members. Rear echelon hold up inside the shack as the Volksgrenadiers shoot at them from other directions. They're probably going to die. They're trying to juke. Nice juke here goes. There they go. Nice movement here by Mr. RedxWings, and manages to keep his rear echelon squad alive. Down to 2 men, gonna get shot on the retreat, but it looks like more squads are still flooding, and they should actually be able to get out of there alive. Volksgrenadiers and Storm Pios engaging at close range. Rear echelon squad coming up on the flank. Oh, nasty hits there as one of the Storm Pios squad, one of the rear echelon squads go down as the Storm Pios do manage to inflict a lot of damage at close range. The Storm Pio squad getting shot at here by the rear echelon squad may actually go down. Can they actually pick up the kill in it? Yes, they do. A nice pickup there for Mr. RedxWings as he takes one for himself after losing the rear echelon squad. Captain said has gone for his doctrine, that is the breakthrough doctrine, and calls in a Sturm officer onto the field. Sturm officer is the one that, how does it work? I believe it's the one that, if the unit itself, the officer dies, it forces everybody around to retreat, something like that. But it gives a perpetual boost, I think, right? Anyways, we'll see how it pans out. We do have an ambulance on the field for Mr. RedxWings. The rear echelons are going to be utilizing that ambulance aggressively here as they reinforce in the middle of engagements. Volksgrenadier squad unable to put up a fight, as really the Storm Pios were the strongest units against the rear echelons here, and the officer is trying as best they can to provide that. And there we go, that's the boost that I was saying. The Storm officer, the units are inspired to fight harder. If the nearby Storm officer dies, the unit will retreat. This unit will retreat. So anybody getting the buff will be forced to retreat if the Storm officer loses its officer guy, who is that guy right there with the Luger. So anyways, heavy engagement going on up here in the north as the rear echelons are trying to hold on as they get reinforced by the ambulance behind them. Rear echelons are outnumbered here, so they will lose the engagement relatively easily. However, they are able to prolong the engagement for a very, very long time. Down south, the OKW truck, or the supply truck, is getting pushed away by another rear echelon squad as the ambulance is finally forced to pack up and reposition itself as the Volksgrenadiers and the officer are able to just simply push forward without much of an opposition. Rear echelons, as numerous as they are right now, they are not really that strong. They're not rifles, so they actually fall very, very quick. Volksgrenadiers, center point, going to try to recapture some territory as the rear echelons get themselves inside this house. Volksgrenadiers going to be moving down south to capture territory, but the rear echelons, they're now at 6 man, or 6 squads total. continuing to push forward as the ambulance is being kept at a, you know, maximum range as far as reinforcements go to try and get reinforcements going. Unfortunately, though, for RedxWings, it's not really panning out that well. He's not able to, you know, get critical mass there with the rear echelons and just suffering here. Looks like Captain Said has a bigger blob, basically, than him, and especially with the support of the Storm Officer, nobody here is really taking that many losses, and they're inflicting quite a bit of damage. Ambulance now caught in the open. The Volksgrenadiers could get a volley going at it with, you know, smaller arms, but it can still get out of there if it moves, and moves now. Gonna take some damage here. It's down to half health and will go lower. RedxWings popping his Doctrine, and that is the Recon support company. Also pops the Greyhound as he does that. The ambulance losing its gun, which apparently forces it to turn around in weird angles. But the Greyhound is now on station, and it's getting upgraded with sexy skirts. Captain, her officer, forced to retreat. The officer himself dies, but squats over here did not retreat. So does it actually have to be the entire unit? That doesn't make sense. I guess maybe it does. Huh, weird. So yeah, the Storm Officer does end up going down to the Greyhound. The Greyhound, a very, very powerful unit, especially in this composition. We do have the Rocket and Warfare coming onto the field for Captain Said, but probably not going to be good enough to take out the Greyhound unless it just sits there. Shrek does get equipped on one of the Volksgrenadier squads, which gives it that much more needed firepower, and the Greyhound is now in a bad spot. Another Shrek shot will fly, getting some more damage in there, but it should be able to make it out of there alive. It has the skirts, and it is popping its canister shot. No, he already popped that before. Manages to drive away and make it out of there alive, so pretty good. Also set to prioritize vehicles, so it doesn't actually shoot and reveal itself, I guess. Down south, we continue to see movement for Set as his Volksgrenadiers are capturing some more territory. And RedxWings just continues to move those rear echelons out. No replacement for the ambulance just yet. We do see the upgrade for the weapon racks as the rear echelons are getting equipped with some bars. This squad is veterans in 2 and has gotten a extra man, so that makes it a pretty powerful unit. And the rear echelon up in the north is forced to retreat as, yeah, Captain Said is pretty much dominating and controlling the rest of the map. Rear echelon set up in some nice heavy cover here as it captures the southern fuel point. More rear echelons coming up behind it. And, yeah, it'll take a while. Greyhound, going to be moving all the way down south. We do not have any Shreks just yet on these Volksgrenadiers, so they are vulnerable here to the Greyhound. And we see a rear echelon squad with the bar popping forward and putting the Fear of God in the Volks as they all retreat. Greyhound is going to be catching them out in the open. Could potentially get a canister shot off on them and get a lot of damage. But I don't think it's going to. It's just simply going to chase them down and get some damage as it can. Down to one man on one of the Volksgrenadier squads. Can he actually pick it off? No, he can. He actually shoots the truck in front of him. And the Volksgrenadier squad gets out of there alive. Barely, but alive. Oh, it actually looks like he's going to go very aggressively all the way back to base. We do have 2 Shreks equipped on Volksgrenadiers, so that could actually be a very big mistake. Volksgrenadier squad going to take a shot. Can he actually take him off? Oh, nasty canister shot nails the Volksgrens, getting one squad down to one man. Almost takes it out completely. But only one Shrek flies, hits it, and it manages to get the hell out of there. Veterans you want acquired, which increases field awareness and greater sight range. So makes it a more capable scouting unit. Captain now on the field for RedxWings. It's going to increase his anti-tanker, anti-vehicle firepower. He doesn't exactly need it right now, but, you know, it's kind of nice. Storm Officer up in the north, forcing the rear echelons to retreat. And the Volksgrenadiers are all moving up to the north as this rear echelon squad. What's wrong with my mouse there? This rear echelon squad just sits in the center point. More rear echelons moving around. Up in the north. One retreated. It's back at base. Captain and rear echelon squad moving around in the north. Steward coming out for RedxWings. Rear echelons trying to push into a freaking firing squad, basically. Managing to actually not take that much damage, surprisingly. The Shreks seeming to reduce the amount of anti-infantry firepower that goes off on them. However, they are going to get themselves killed. This is a Veteran C2 squad that's just going to die. Can it make it out of there? Oh, it looks like it can as the captain and another rear echelon squad moves up. Looks like they're focusing on the officer, but that only gets them killed. Captain down to one man. Can it make it out of there? Shreks, rifles, everything flies at him. Can he make it out? Looks like he's barely going to make it out of there, as we see the Panzer headquarters going down for Captain Z up in the north, covering that entire approach. Yes, we did see the the Greyhound die there in the center. We saw it, so it's fine, but I was commenting on other things. But we do have the Steward on the field for RedxWings, so at least he didn't lose all vehicle power. Obersoldaten getting produced for Mr. Z. The Shreks on the Volksgrenadiers. Still a big threat here to the Steward. The Steward has to keep pretty much maximum range and shoot from afar to try and do as much damage as it can. Volksgrenadiers retreating from the center as the officer is also retreating up in the north. Rear echelons holding their ground. Another Greyhound getting built for Mr. RedxWings. It's interesting that he would decide for a second one, considering the amount of anti-tank that he knows is on the field. Guess he knows something I don't. Skirt's not getting upgraded just yet. He does have the munitions for it, but I guess this time he doesn't care to get them upgraded, I guess. Vehicle crew repairing. The rear echelon squad could actually help out with repairs. You do have to select the repair option, or depending on the hotkey, it all depends whether you have grid keys or not. But yeah, the Steward does get fully repaired and is now back online. Rear echelons in the center. One squad behind it popped into the house. Volksgrenadiers popping forward. Shrek volley goes at the Steward. Hits it twice. Down to less than half health. Needs to get the hell out of the way or it will fall. And yeah, the Steward is going to have to concede a lot of territory. Rear echelons inside the house popping themselves out as they hit retreat. The Greyhound is still there. And again, with the amount of Shreks on the field, I don't exactly know why it's there. It could be utilized to harass and go on the edges, at least, but for now, it doesn't look like it. Rear echelons and captain moving up in the north. We see one squad popping into the house as it's going to try to deny territory and delay the game. Captain is getting supported here by the rear echelon squad with a bar and 5 men. It's a little bit of more power there. Those rear echelons don't seem to be having enough impact here against all these guys. Obersoldaten's on the field for Mr. Captain said. He does have the LMG on the Obersoldaten squad. Rear echelon squad inside the shack is forced to retreat. Down to one man, makes it out. Captain and second rear echelon squad retreat as they know that they are overwhelmed and outnumbered. And the vehicles in the center just moving around. Raketen Warfare did end up retreating, but it's now back over there. And Fusiliers on the base. Oh, that is a nasty little combo there. Could actually take it out. Raketen Warfare pushing forward. Down goes the Fusilier squad. Raketen Warfare going to be popping inside there. Oh no, it actually gets taken out in the front of the base, or well, in the front of the shack there. But, of course, the Greyhound goes out of control once again because, well, we kind of knew that was going to happen. It's too fragile for the amount of Shreks on the field. Did manage to take out that Raketen Warfare, which is currently dropped there on the field right outside of the house. So it's still there for Captain Set to recover, but for now, it looks like he's just going to leave it there. Shrek's just moving around the center as another Volksgrenadier squad is around without anything, but there you go. And we now see that all the rear echelons are getting upgraded with bars. Let's see, the 5-man squad, how many does it have? Seems to only have one so far, so pretty much everybody getting spread around and getting some bar loving. We even see a bazooka there on one of them. Don't exactly know why. Did they drop it? No. May have been a misclick, or I guess he's expecting some type of vehicle play. Probably should, considering it's 15 minutes into the game and we haven't seen anything, but well, we haven't seen anything, so who knows. So down south, Grand Squad's going to be engaged against the Steward and Captain and rear echelons and everything. Do take a shot at the Steward, but they are forced away as the rear echelons are just going to hold there. No, the captain going to be the one that hold. Rear echelons continue to push forward. Victory points are 380 for RedxWings, 410 for Captain Said. Pretty even. RedxWings losing right now, but he is pushing into the center to retake the point. Volksgrenadiers sit there in the center. They're pretty clumped up. That's a nice little shot there. Manages to only get 1 kill, but yeah, can do a lot of damage. Down goes a Volksgrenadier squad to that as rear echelons come up for the flank. Bars in hand, going to be able to do a lot of damage. And the steward trying to help out as much as he can from behind. Officer also there. We see the rear echelon squad going to be going for the Rocket Warfare, and the Rocket Warfare probably going to be hitting retreat here and getting the hell out of there. Down to 1 man on this squad. Volksgrenadiers doing a lot of damage. Everybody is forced to retreat, but it looks like they're all going to make it out of there just fine. Do have an ambulance nearby. Ambulance doesn't have a retreat spot, so it could just simply be back here, making sure that it heals as often as it can and healing everybody, you know, when they retreat. But it looks like for now it's just going to be sitting there in the open. It's fine. I mean, you can always just reinforce and move them all up here so they get the reinforcement position and then pop the heal. But, I mean, kind of better if you are either using it actively or you have your major on the field. So up in the north, rear echelon squad going to be capturing some point as we see another squad going for the victory point. Center point is going to get capped by Captain Said, 366 to 410. So Captain Said getting himself almost a 50-point lead, which isn't too much. Can very quickly turn from one way or the other. So pretty much anybody's game when it comes to victory points just yet. Rolling 16. Oh, sorry. That was a burp up, kind of. Ow. Anyways, yeah, I mean, 60 minutes into the game, 17 minutes. Not really going to be a victory point situation just yet, or normally it shouldn't, unless you're losing horribly. Over to Latin leading the charge to the north. The rear echelon squad unable to cap the victory point, and they are forced to retreat. So it looks like RedxWings just got the Doctrine for the Greyhound. Worked out okay. Got himself a couple kills. Can get the airdrop combat group. And we see yet again another Greyhound. Wow, so he's very, very fond of those Greyhounds. Not sure that I agree, but I mean, obviously they're much better players than I am, so obviously know something that I don't, but yeah, I mean, it seems strange to me, but doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. So anyways, big engagement here in the center as we see the rear echelons pushing forward, getting right on top of everything. Orbital Latins trying to fight through the front as we see Volksgrenadiers up in the north trying to get some flanking shots on those rear echelons. They all back off. We do have the ambulance nearby to reinforce. The steward pushing its own infantry around as it just pushes forward, supported by the Greyhound. And we see the Orbital Latin kind of exposed here. They're going to get shot here by the steward. Steward not being able to get a shot off. We see Volksgrenadiers coming up from the north, getting a nice shot off in the rear of the steward. And, yeah. Big push here from both sides. We see the Volksgrenadiers pushing down south, trying to take out the steward. We see the rear echelon squad getting right on top of all the squads. Volksgrenadier squad down to 2 men on one, down to 1 on the other. Down goes one of them. Steward goes down as well. And the Volksgrenadiers are retreating from the rear echelons as the Orbital Latins just hold the line against all the infantry. Bar did get dropped here on the field. One rear echelon squad manages to pick it up again, and the Greyhound is still on the field, so it manages to be the deciding factor there and forces the retreat of the Orbital Latin. Orbital Latin able to take the punishment here. Greyhound taking some shots, but now come the Volksgrenadiers with their Shrek, so the Greyhound needs to get the hell out of there. So bloody engagements back and forth. RedxWings doing a pretty good job at keeping most of his rear echelons alive. Does have that Rocket Warfare, though I don't know where it is. Oh, it's back here. But yeah, there's no vehicles just yet. We do see the mechanized regiment headquarters having gone down for Captain Zed. So considering that he has all three and hasn't built any vehicles, I'm going to assume he is going for the König. The Königstiger, the King Tiger. Does need more fuel though, and more manpower, so it's gonna be a while, but like I said, considering what he's done and what he's doing, that he's not even, you know, getting any vehicles. He could have easily gone for a Lux with the Schwerpanzer headquarters. Schwerpanzer headquarters And just the sheer amount of rear echelons. Lux could have done very well there. Could have also invested maybe in an infantry support gun, although, well, I mean, he could still do that. That is not, you know, doesn't waste your fuel, so not really that bad. And so far, I've never seen anybody use the infrared half-track. Anyways, up in the north, Captain going for the victory point, as we see Red X-Wings holding the center and the south, so the victory points are 363 to 385. Like I said, those 50 points can swing one way or the other very quickly, so it's not really any real factor here. The officer holding behind the house, making sure that everybody in front of him has that buff. The officer buff. Rear echelons trying their best to hold the line. We see one squad making a defensive a fighting position, popping themselves inside. They do have access to the rifle grenades when they do that. There go the rifle grenades. It flies. Hits near the squad. Doing some good damage there. Ambulance taking some hits there. And the Greyhound trying to hold the line. Do have a 50 cal machine gun getting upgraded for the fighting position, but it manages to stop all the enemies cold and force the retreat. Volks Grenadier Squad getting chased down here by the Greyhound. Can he actually finish him off? I don't think he's going to be able to finish him off in one shot. He actually whiffs that shot, so not even down to a couple members there. And whiffs it again. Greyhound pushes forward, pushes back, takes more shots, but misses everything. But Red X-Wing did manage to pull back, or well, not pull back, but push back and hold the line, essentially. Did take, you know, he lost the territory, but did manage to build that fighting position, which is pretty good. Needs to get it repaired, make sure that it's, you know, at full strength. And, of course, you know, you get access to those rifle grenades. Down south, Volks Grenadier Squad getting caught by the Greyhound. Greyhound forcing it to retreat. Getting some kills on it, but won't chase it down or won't kill it on the chase, is what I'm trying to say. And we see the Major having gone down for Red X-Wings with a retreat spot already set near the ambulance. And he's going for a Sherman from the looks of it. Up in the far north, Captain Squad moving around by itself, just capturing some more territory. And yeah, we now have the heavy cav here.
Send your orders.
So yeah, Sherman on the field. We also see a squad of IR Pathfinders getting called in.
Pathfinders on station and ready for action.
They are on station and ready for action, apparently. Captain Squad retreating in a awkward angle here, as it has to retreat to the captain. Well, not the captain, but the Major, which means that it is unable to get away of the squads very quickly. Almost goes down in the process, but manages to stay alive. Volks Grenadier is going to push forward with Trex. Trex fly at the Sherman. Oh, the Sherman goes for the crush, getting a nice crush here on the Obersoldaten Squad. Now it's going for the crush on the Volks Grenadier Squad. The Volks Grenadier Squad managing to move out of the way, however, so more shots just fly at it. The Obersoldaten Squad is very vulnerable here, down to one man on the retreat. Could potentially go down. Sherman has managed to basically run past all the Volks Grenadiers, and the Volks Grenadiers are not going to be able to stop this. Sherman going all the way back to base. Everybody currently retreating as they try to make their way back. Obersoldaten Squad goes down, and the Sherman is going to try and focus here. The second Obersoldaten Squad takes another hit on the squad, but does not manage to finish off the remainder of the squad. Oh, a nasty hit as the Volks Grenadier Squad goes down in one for the high explosive rounds of the Sherman. Second squad now goes back down to one man. Shrek flies, hits the Greyhound, but the Volks Grenadiers are down. Greyhound goes down as the second Volks Grenadier, with Shrek moves up behind it. We have a Death Squad here getting nice hits there on the Sherman. Sherman goes down, Red X being very bold. Ooh, well, let's hope it actually pays off. It was a bold move. He managed to inflict a lot of casualties. Look at that, down to only 2 Volkskrans and 1 Obersoldaten. And I guess the officer is still there. Currently retreating, though. But the thing is that while Red X-Wing inflicted a lot of losses there, we now see the King Tiger getting produced for Mr. Captain set. So while he does have a low count when it comes to infantry, especially compared to the sheer amount of rear echelons on the field right now for Red X-Wings, Red X-Wings lost all his vehicles and everything. The only thing he really has is the Raketen Werfer. I mean, he has bazookas. I mean, there's a bazooka squad here with only one bazooka. There's a second bazooka squad up here with another one bazooka and the captain. So that's 4 bazookas and a Raketen currently set against the King Tiger. And RedxWings is actually building himself, I think that's howitzer, right? Yeah, the motor carriage, howitzer motor carriage. Okay. So the key here for RedxWings is going to be in identifying the King Tiger before that motor carriage finishes, being able to cancel, and then probably building a Jackson to have a decent punch against the King Tiger. So let's see if it happens. He's about halfway done. King Tiger now on the field. It's going to take a while to actually get anywhere. And that tank keeps getting produced. Ooh, this is going to be bad for RedxWings. Down south, we see the point getting capped by the rear echelon squad, front of the base. Rear echelon with bar, capping that other point. King Tiger moves up. Going to take a shot at the rear echelons. Boom, makes itself known. Will RedxWings react in time? Yes, he does. Manages to cancel that howitzer and is building the Jackson. Jeez, that was actually close. I think if Captain said had actually waited a little bit, I mean, obviously he doesn't know that it was being built, but like if he had waited a little bit, like maybe wanted to set up for a big push with the infantry supporting the tank at the same time, he could have actually caught Mr. RedxWings in a very bad spot where he wouldn't have, where he would have had just built a howitzer mortar carriage and not have anything capable of fighting it. So King Tiger in the center, getting some good shots into the church. Has gotten shot a little bit by the Raketen and the bazookas. Not taking too much damage, though. It is a King Tiger after all, so right now it's at about 75% strength. The Jackson is still being built, so it's going to take a while for it to work. And for it to hit the field, but yeah, there we go. Jackson is now on the field. Probably keep pushing straight on and trying to get some shots on that tank. We see the Major utilizing its rapid barrage right on top of the Tiger. Tiger takes engine damage. Wow, that's actually surprising. And is now down to about 30% strength. Jackson actually in a great spot here to take down that Tiger. The Tiger now backing off. Jackson taking some good shots on it. Could potentially hit its... ooh, bounces it off the frontal armor. Captain down to 2 men, forced to retreat. Volksgrenadiers getting right next to the Jackson, getting some good shots on it, forcing it to back off. So the King Tiger stays alive. Oh, the rear echelons are pushing forward, trying to engage the King Tiger. That is not the best ideas for it. Raketen Warfare is also pushing very aggressively forward. Gonna get itself killed. It needs to catch the King Tiger. Volksgrenadier squads do go down. A Shrek gets dropped onto the field, and nobody can pick it up. Raketen Warfare does get dropped there. Captain, no. This squad. There we go. Anti-tank squad now in station. Mechanized Regiment headquarters is getting some repairs on the Tiger. Volksgrenadier, not Volksgrenadier squad, Obersoldaten squad getting damage on the rear echelons, taking down one of the bars, but they managed to pick it up before they retreat. And we see the Raketen Warfare gonna get retaken here by that Volksgrenadier, not Volks, the rear echelon squad, and they all retreat. The retreat point is not very far away. We have the ambulance nearby healing, so everybody is ready to go. But yeah, that Tiger took a beating. It's now at about 30% strength, still getting repaired. The Jackson is at about half strength. Needs to get repairs going. Crew pops out, gonna get those repairs going, and the rear echelon squad is gonna help out as well. Fighting position, getting some hits there on the approaching infantry. Crew popping back into the Jackson. The Jackson pushes forward, and everybody retreats. IR Pathfinders getting some hits in there, and victory points are 363 to 186. So yeah, RedxWings turning it completely around here. Now pretty much doubles the points for Mr. Z. And we see a recon slip getting called in. Tiger at about 75% strength, or well, a little bit less as it still has that engine damage. Moves up and gets shot here by the Jackson. Jackson taking the nasty shot to the face there by the Tiger. Returning a shot and moving out of the way before the Tiger is able to return damage. And the Tiger is now back down to about 40% strength. Obersoldaten Fusiliers and the officer pushing forward. So no more Volks on the field for Mr. Captain said. No more Shreks. Shreks are even, in fact, now in the hands of Mr. RedxWings. So he has a potential tank killing squad. However, it is a King Tiger, so it's very difficult for it actually to kill that. Rear echelons are there. They could all just quickly repair the tank and just get it back in working order. We do actually see the howitzer a bit getting built for RedxWings. That's kind of surprising. I mean, it's cool that he did that, because usually you'd expect, well, I mean, look at that repair. Holy shit. Look at all those rear echelons. So the tank is back in full working order, so that's not any issue anymore. But yeah, I mean, considering the tank, the size of the tank that is currently on the field, you would expect... Did a squad die there? Looks like a squad died there. That was a captain squad. Oh, the captain died up north. Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, considering that there is a King Tiger on the field, you would expect that he would get 2 Jacksons, right, to be able to deal with it. But no, he's keeping his cool. He has the Raketen Warfers, he has the Shreks and the Bazookas, so he's just going to be utilizing the mobility of the Jackson and the ever-present threat there. The Raketen Warfer did go down, but the Tiger is still damaged. Has the engine damage still going on it. Didn't manage to get enough repairs going. We did get a Storm Pile getting built for Captain said, as he I guess wants to get the repairs going on the Tiger quicker. However, he himself is down to 109 points, and if he doesn't do something quick, he's gonna die. Shots fly as the Mechanized Regiment headquarters is getting hit here by the Jackson. The Jackson manages to nail the King Tiger, as it just simply stays there. And we see a sink error detected, and the game coming to a close, as it appears that Captain Said just throws in the towel after not being able to turn it around with the King Tiger. Well, very good. Very nicely played there by Mr. RedxWings, and it looks like, aside from being maybe quote-unquote gimmicky, it seems like rear echelon, spam, essentially, works pretty well. Like I said, it's that Veteran C2 thing of getting it up to 5 members that really makes it shine. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.